So guys, this is the Gear S3 review. This is everything that I want to share after 2 weeks of ownership. And don't forget to like this video, because if I get 500 likes, my mom said she'll buy me a Gear S3, my very own, for Christmas. If my mom's watching this, she's probably like, oh hell no, I ain't buying him that. So ever since the original Moto 360 was released in 2014, it seems like smartwatch usage has declined ever since then. When smartwatches first came out, it was like the new tech to get. Everyone wanted one. Some people tried them out. Some people liked them. Some people didn't. So it's the year 2016 going into 2017, so smartwatches have been in the market for a while. So you either like them or you don't at this point. They either help you or it's just another device that does the same thing that you already have in your pocket. The Gear S3 may not be the best thing for everybody, but what it does do, it does very well. So straight out of the box with the always on display disabled, I've gotten really good battery life. Every single day, it seems like clockwork, pun intended. I would put the Gear S3 on the charger at night. Now keep in mind, I wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night. The watch would be at like 85%. So I kind of wanted to push it a little bit to see how well it can do. So I turned on the always on display today. And what that does, it senses when it's on your wrist and it has a display on all the time. Now depending on the actual watch face you have, your always on the display will change. But just consider it like the low power form of your watch face. So it's going to be very minimalistic. You may see like the second hand ticking, but you're not going to see all the bells and whistles. Anyway, right now I'm at 56% battery life. That's with the always on display being on all day. That's with me heavily using it today from shooting B-roll for this video, installing new watch faces and stuff like that. So that's still very impressive. In my mind, if you can get through the whole day, you're good to go. But if you use this thing minimally, from my usages, you could get 4 days of battery life. So a long weekend definitely can handle this. The next thing that I have to give kudos to the Gear S3 is that it uses a custom operating system called Tizen OS that Samsung has used for a while now. While it's not Android Wear, which I would probably appreciate because Android Wear does have Google Now integration, it has better apps, it's just a more popular operating system. What this does have that Android Wear sometimes doesn't have is a very smooth user interface. So the UI is buttery smooth. I've never seen it lag or glitch or anything like that. And pair it with this rotating bezel, oh my gosh. You can get through stuff so quickly and it's just like butter all the time. Where the operating system falls short, however, is using Samsung's S Voice. So if you tell it to do something such as start a timer, you have to install an app for that to even work. It's just not as features packed as Google Now. So if you use Google Now all the time, if you use Google Home, you're going to be a little disappointed because some things you ask this, it's not going to know, or it's going to respond a lot slower. Normal voice dictation though, so like if you're just sending a text message, works really well. You can talk pretty fast and it seems to pick up every word with ease. So that works just fine. I don't know, I've never seen it, but I heard it was pretty good. It's just S Voice. It's not as good as Siri. It's not as good as Google Now. That's one thing I wish the Gear S3 had, was somehow Google Now integration. Now, if you're no stranger to Samsung devices, you've probably heard of Samsung Pay. So every smartphone on the market now pretty much can support mobile payments. So Apple has Apple Pay. All the other Android devices has Android Pay, but what makes Samsung Pay special is that it uses MST technology. So when you tap your phone to the terminal, it simulates a credit card swipe. So what's the purpose or what's the benefit of that? That means that any terminal that you can swipe your card at can accept Samsung Pay. So it's really cool because that same technology is put into the Gear S3. So like I went to the store the other day, I activated Samsung Pay by just holding the button on the top. You pick your card and you just tap it to the terminal. Sometimes the cashier will say, oh, we don't accept that here. And then as they're saying that, the transaction goes through. So it's pretty cool. It kind of will trigger your Android fanboy sense just a little bit because Apple Pay doesn't support that at all. Now don't get me wrong, I love my Apple devices. I have an iPhone 7 Plus, but it's one technology that it doesn't have, and MST through Samsung Pay is a pretty cool feature, and now it's on your wrist. You can even use it without your phone. So speaking of not having your phone, the Gear S3, this Frontier Edition, this is by AT&T, so it's actually hooked up to the LTE network. And AT&T has a feature called Number Sync, where you can sync your actual number that you use on your phone with your smartwatch. So you have data connection on both devices sharing the same number. The cool thing about that is if you leave your phone at home, if you turn your phone off, if you're walking throughout your house and lose connection with your phone, you're still connected to the world. You can receive text messages, you can make phone calls, all the necessities to help you stay connected. So if you're someone like me where you just feel a little bit distressed when you're away from your phone, whether it's like for a job or something like that where you have to be connected, like in an emergency or something, this is perfect because you can leave your phone in your room, you can be in the kitchen cooking, you can be working out, and you're still connected, still nothing to worry about. Another great plus with that means that you can use your Gear S3 to go work out. It's got built-in GPS, so you don't need to keep your phone. And now that you're running, if anything happened, like you fell or you were too tired, you could call for help with just your watch. And this thing has a million and one features, and this isn't a video to lay them all out. But another cool thing about the Gear S3 and most smartwatches is that you can hook up other Bluetooth devices to it. So like this is my Jaybirds X2, a tried and true pair of headphones that you've probably seen on YouTube a few times. You can connect these to your Gear S3. You can have music on your Gear S3. So once again, you can now go for a run without your smartphone. You don't have to carry a lot of baggage. You just have this. It's your emergency phone, it's your emergency text message machine, it's your music machine, it's everything. So that's pretty nifty. I don't know about you, but if you go running with like basketball shorts on, it's pretty crazy to have this in your pocket whipping around, or even putting it on your shoulder. Like those straps, that's kind of obnoxious. You have everything right here now. So if you're a runner, definitely consider the Gear S3 Frontier Edition. And in my testing, the device is really strong. If you're a guy that's like, or girl, that is outdoors or just really concerned with how the watch will hold up, I've accidentally smacked it on a few things and I don't see any damage at all. One big plus is that the screen is actually recessed. So if you're walking and like smack it into a wall or something like that, it's probably going to hit the bezel instead. So I'd rather have a scratched bezel than shattered glass on my smartwatch. But to point out, there's not even a scratch on my bezel. It's made out of a very strong titanium. And of course, this watch is water resistant as well. So if you go run in the rain, if you wash your hands, heck, even if you take a shower, the watch should be okay. Just remember to use it within some considerable limits. Like if you're gonna take a shower, just know that it's probably not gonna be the best thing for the watch if you get soap and stuff on it like that. If you decide to go swimming or to the beach, just remember that salt water and chlorine isn't the best thing for it. And don't get too ballsy. Don't go diving, 6 feet, 10 feet down and expecting this thing to live every single time. Use it within reason. Use it as an insurance policy. Sure, it can get wet, but even better yet, try to avoid the water and you'll be even better off. So guys, that's all I really have to say about the Gear S3 after having it for 2 weeks as my review unit. Like I said, I'm really sad I have to send it back because things like the battery life, the feel, the look, the speed, the usability, everything is really good on this device. It's really hard not to recommend it. I would recommend it to anyone looking for a smartwatch. Now, if you're on the fence, if you've never had a smartwatch before, that's a whole nother story because some people will get a smartwatch, they'll use it, and they just won't see the point. They'll say that it does the same thing their phone does. But if you live a certain lifestyle, a smartwatch definitely can be useful, whether it's just too busy to have your phone out all the time, whether you go running a lot, or anything in between. There's ideal situations where a smartwatch is really good to have, and I think I just might be one of those people. How long have I had these on my neck for? I thought I took these off. And that's everything I thought was important about the Gear S3 to mention. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this inspired you to buy a Gear S3. If you have AT&T, be sure to pick one up from them. I'll put links in the description below. Once again, big shout out, big thanks to them for sending me this product to review. Without companies like that, I would have to purchase every single device, and ain't no one made of money. And if you've made it this far, and if you've listened to me blabber this long, don't forget that like, don't forget to subscribe. I make new tech videos all the time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.